Hey, I'm the MMA loser and I'm back with another video. And before I start the video, I would request you guys to please subscribe to my channel. I have very few subscribers. You subscribing to my channel will help my channel to grow. So please subscribe to my channel. And this video is going to be a little bit of a special video where I'll just be talking about the UFC 291 fight card, which in my opinion is probably the most stacked fight card of this year considering the lineup, even though there is no real championship on the line, but still the main event, the co-main event, and the entire fight card is a complete banger. So let us start by talking about the main event of the evening, that is going to be Dustin Poirier versus Justin Gaethje for the BMF title. Now, the BMF title is a little bit of a WWE-esque title, but these two fighters, they definitely deserve a payday. They definitely deserve a pay-per-view point because they're both really entertaining fighters, and they only lose to the champion. They're both former interim champions. Dustin Poirier, a former interim lightweight champion, and Justin Gaethje is also a former UFC interim lightweight champion. So, and so this should be a complete banger. This in itself deserves a lot of credit, but the entire fight card, apart from this, the co-main event is also great. So first, who do I think is going to win this fight? I don't know right now. I'm not going to talk about that much. When the fight week gets when we get closer to the fight week and we get closer to the pay-per-view, that is when I'll make a detailed analysis video about Dustin Poirier versus Justin Gaethje part 2 and who's going to win and who's going to lose. So you guys can write me in the comments who you think is going to win between Poirier and Gaethje part 2. Now let us continue with the co-main event of UFC 291. That is going to be between the former UFC light heavyweight champion Jan Blachowicz and former UFC middleweight champion Alex Pereira. Now both of these fighters are really good strikers. They're known for their power, and both of them also have a unique credential, that is defeating Israel Adesanya in MMA, in UFC to be more specific. But both of them share this weird connection that where they both defeated Israel Adesanya. So this will be interesting to see how these two fight each other. Jan Blachowicz is known to be he is known to be one of those people who can knock you out at any point of time, who can take you down and also dominate you on the ground. Now, Alex Pereira definitely has KO power in his hands, but it will be interesting to see how his KO power, how his knockout power fares in the light heavyweight division of UFC. So this will also be his debut in lightweight division in UFC. So this fight between Jan Blachowicz and Alex Pereira will be really interesting. So you guys can also write me in the comment section what you think about this fight between Alex Pereira and Jan Blachowicz. Will it be entertaining or will it be just a boring fight where Jan Blachowicz just lays on top of Alex Pereira? Write me in the comment section. Now let us talk about the third fight, which is somewhat of a unique fight where Paulo Costa is fighting against Aliskerov. Now, Aliskerov, I don't know much about him, but I know that he once fought with Hamzat Chimaev, where he apparently was supposed to be Hamzat Chimaev's toughest opponent, but he got knocked out by Hamzat Chimaev. So that means that he's not exactly that tough. Now, it will be interesting to see how he fares against top UFC middleweight like Paulo Costa. Now, Paulo Costa has recently become a lot of a meme lord. I love his memes. His secret juice is great, and he has become one of the funniest personalities in the world of mixed martial arts. Now, this fight, probably the UFC is trying to set up a fight between Aliskerov and Hamza Chimaev, or maybe they're going to set up a fight between Hamza Chimaev and Paulo Costa. I don't know. I thought Chimaev was going to fight Costa, but whatever, it does not matter. We would like to see. I don't mind watching this fight as well. It is what it is. Hopefully, we get to see a good fight between Aliskerov and Paulo Costa. You guys can write me in the comment section what you think about this fight. Does it make any sense? Will it be an entertaining fight, or it is just one of those fights where you don't care about it? Now let us talk about the heavyweight fight between Derek Lewis and Rosario Marcos de Lima. Marcos Rosario de Lima. And this will be, I don't know, this might be the last fight of Derek Lewis. We don't know because Derek Lewis has not really looked that great in his last few fights. He lost against Taito Ivasa, he lost against, I believe, Pavlovich and Spivak. So he's not doing really well. So I don't mind seeing Derek Lewis retire because he has had a lot of mileage in his career, even though this is heavyweight, but yet he has been in. I mean, your body can only take so much of a punishment. So hopefully we get to see a good fight, which I doubt. I think this might be a coming out party for Marcus Rosario. That is what UFC might be trying to do. But whatever, it's Derek Lewis, so hopefully we'll get to see at least a good post-fight interview. Now let us talk about this fight, this welterweight matchup, where Michael Chiesa will be fighting against Kevin Trailblazer Holland, aka Big Mouth. Now, Kevin Holland can knock out a lot of fighters. I think he recently knocked out Santiago Ponzinibbio. I think so. But Kevin Holland has definite power in his hands, and he can do knockouts and he can knock people out from weird positions. It will be interesting to see if Michael Chiesa can take the fight to the ground and win the fight on the ground. But then again, Kevin Holland has great jiu-jitsu, but his wrestling is not really that great. But it is what it is. It will be interesting to see uh, if Michael Chiesa can do anything because Michael Chiesa has not done anything ever since before COVID. That his last win was probably against Diego Sanchez. So I don't know. Hopefully, we get to see a good fight between Kevin Holland and Michael Chiesa. Even though I'm not really very hopeful about Michael Chiesa, but I'm hopeful about Kevin Holland. He always makes fights entertaining. He always talks about talks in between the fights, on between rounds. He talks about while fighting, while being in rounds, within fights. It doesn't matter. He is always there to fight. So hopefully, Trailblazer will entertain us. Now let us talk about another welterweight matchup between the fan favorite, the nicest guy in UFC, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson and Michael Pereira. Now, Michael Pereira, for those of you who do not know, I'm fairly certain if you're watching this video, you know about Michael Pereira. Michael Pereira is basically a gymnast inside the UFC octagon. He fights like you expect someone to fight in a martial arts movie, doing backflips inside the cage and doing somersaults, backflips, front flips. He just does all kinds of crazy stuff inside the octagon. Now, will he be able to do that against Stephen Thompson? I don't think so, because if you try to play those kind of stupid tricks with Stephen Thompson, you're going to get punished for it. And even though Thompson is really old at this point of time, considering it's mixed martial arts, he still is an elite striker. If you just try to strike and stand and bang with Stephen Thompson, it's going to be a long night for you. We saw that in the Kevin Holland fight, where I think Kevin Holland broke his hand and Stephen Thompson made Kevin Holland pay for it. So I think Michael Pereira in this fight will try to take Stephen Thompson down and win the fight on the ground. That is what his game plan would be. Because if he tries to just stand and bang with Stephen Thompson, then no doubt that fight will be really entertaining. But I think striking wise, Stephen Thompson will win that fight uh, by unanimous decision, in my opinion. But I'll make a detailed review or a detailed analysis of this fight when we get closer to the fight week. Now, let us talk about the lightweight fight between El Kukui and Bobby Green. Now, it kind of hurts to see Tony Ferguson in this way, and especially seeing what he had done in his career. He was on this crazy 10 fight, 11 fight win streak where he was defeating people and he was making their faces look like they have been through a train accident or they've been through a road crash. But now it's sad to see what Tony Ferguson has become. He's really slow. You can see his reflexes are not there. He's uh, behaving really weird. He was always a little weird. He was always a little goofy, but now it's just sad to see what Tony Ferguson has become. His brain has taken a lot of damage, especially in that Justin Gaethje fight where he just got like that fight probably took years away from his life. And his last fight against Nate Diaz, he got finished. It's just the earlier Tony would have never done that, right? He would have probably gone out on his shield, but he's not the Tony Ferguson that we know from the past. So it is very difficult to see him in this position. Hopefully, Tony retires. I know a lot of people are probably going to hate me for saying that, but I think Tony Ferguson just should retire because he's not it is he's not in his best uh he's not his best self right now. It is really not great to see him in this position. You guys can please write me in the comment section what you think should Tony do. I think he should retire and probably start coaching or do something else because he's definitely he doesn't deserve this. And about Bobby Green, again, Bobby Green is also not looking that great. He's also getting knocked out left, right, and center, getting finished. So both of these fighters, they're really old. And even as a fight fan, we want to see fighters doing well. But at one point of time, you should just you should just give up. You should just hang up the gloves and probably focus on something else. And whatever, I really hope that both of them retire after this fight. So that is what I hope. And I guess that is it from this video where I just gave you an overview of UFC 291, which right now on paper looks like the most stacked UFC fight card of the year, in my opinion. And just because of the fights, not because of the title or anything, just because of the entertaining fights that they have put together. And you guys can write me in the comment section which you think would be the best fight of the year, or rather the best fight of the night. And please subscribe to my channel. I have very few subscribers. If you subscribe to my channel, it helps my channel to grow. Share the video, and if you enjoyed the video, then drop a like and subscribe and just peace out.